What if the most haunted house wasn't in England? What if Gothic horror didn't belong to dark castles or abandoned European mansions? What if one novel could take everything we thought we knew about Gothic fiction and completely reinvent it? That's exactly what Mexican Gothic does. It isn't just a haunted house story. It's a story about family, colonialism, identity, power, and the terrifying secrets hidden inside history itself. Today, we're exploring why Mexican Gothic has become one of the most important horror novels of the 21st century. When most people hear the words Gothic horror, they imagine ancient castles, stormy nights, ghosts wandering dark hallways, European aristocrats hiding terrible secrets. Silvia Moreno-Garcia takes those familiar elements and moves them to 1950s Mexico. The result feels familiar, yet completely new. At the center of the story is Noemi Taboada. Confident, intelligent, stylish, independent, she isn't the typical Gothic heroine waiting to be rescued. Instead, she chooses to investigate the mystery herself. After receiving a disturbing letter from her cousin Catalina, Noemi travels to a remote mansion called High Place. She expects family drama. She finds something far worse. Every great Gothic novel has an unforgettable setting. For Mexican Gothic, that setting is High Place, an isolated mansion hidden deep in the Mexican mountains. Its walls are crumbling, its hallways are silent, its rooms seem to breathe, and every corner feels alive with secrets. The house isn't simply where the story happens. The house is the story. Most horror novels use monsters. Mexican Gothic uses architecture. The mansion traps people, controls them, shapes their behavior. Its decaying beauty reflects the family living inside. Elegant on the surface, rotting underneath, the building becomes a physical symbol of corruption. What makes this novel different is that its horror isn't random. It's historical. The story explores the lingering effects of colonialism, generational trauma, and inherited power. The ghosts haunting High Place aren't just supernatural. They're echoes of history itself. Traditional Gothic fiction often centers on European folklore. Mexican Gothic embraces Mexican history, traditions, mythology, and cultural identity. Instead of copying old Gothic conventions, the novel transforms them. The result feels authentic, original, and deeply unsettling. One of Silvia Moreno-Garcia's greatest strengths is contrast. Beautiful dresses, elegant architecture, fine dining, perfect manners. Yet beneath every beautiful surface lies something disturbing. The horror isn't hidden in darkness. It's hidden inside beauty itself. Noemi refuses to become a victim. She questions everything, challenges authority, and refuses to accept easy answers. Instead of waiting for someone to save her, she becomes the person others depend upon. That choice gives the novel its emotional strength. Many horror stories fear outsiders. Mexican Gothic fears something closer: family, inheritance, bloodlines, traditions. The people who are supposed to protect us sometimes become the greatest source of danger. Readers often remember High Place more vividly than some of the characters. Why? Because the mansion constantly changes how people think, dream, sleep, and even remember. It's a setting that actively shapes the narrative. Few novels achieve that. The novel rarely relies on jump scares. Instead, it builds dread. Every strange conversation, every unsettling dream, every unexplained sound creates a feeling that something is terribly wrong. Readers don't simply witness fear. They slowly begin feeling it. Although set in the 1950s, Mexican Gothic explores timeless questions. Who controls history? Who benefits from power? Can trauma pass from one generation to another? Can beauty disguise cruelty? These questions remain just as relevant today. If you're writing horror, study this novel. Let your setting become a character. Build atmosphere before revealing monsters. Use cultural history to deepen your world. Create protagonists who actively investigate. Make horror meaningful, not merely frightening, because unforgettable horror always says something about humanity. Mexican Gothic proved something important. The Gothic genre isn't limited to Europe. Every culture has haunted places, forgotten histories, family secrets, and legends waiting to be explored. By embracing Mexican culture, Silvia Moreno-Garcia expanded what Gothic literature could become. Perhaps Mexican Gothic isn't really about haunted houses. It's about inherited darkness, the stories families refuse to tell, the wounds history refuses to heal, and the courage required to confront both. Silvia Moreno-Garcia created far more than a best-selling horror novel. She reimagined an entire genre, blending Gothic tradition, Mexican culture, historical trauma, and psychological horror into something unforgettable. Because the most terrifying monsters aren't always supernatural. Sometimes, they're the legacies we inherit, and the truths hidden inside our own history. If you enjoy literary analysis, psychological horror, and storytelling techniques from the world's greatest novels, subscribe, because the greatest horror stories don't just frighten us. They reveal the darkest corners of history. culture, and ourselves.